This part is pretty easy. Then we get into the first wave. And this obviously is going to be a choke point. Because, well, it's one of, if not the hardest part in the level. I really don't have any tips for this part besides practice. Alright, so in this auto part there is a bug. It's very rare, but it does happen sometimes. You see my wave went up there. Sometimes it'll go down, sometimes it'll go up. What I've noticed is when the wave goes up through that portal, there's a tendency for it to be bugged. Luckily that time it isn't. Sometimes you'll like shoot up and die to those saws, or you'll be flung down and barely be able to even press that orb. I don't think I have any tips for the first ship. It's pretty straightforward. You just need to practice it a lot. Also, sorry if I am bad at this right now. I just switched to a SEO device. So, I'm gonna be pretty bad at the game for a while, so bear with me here. So, if you're using a mouse, my tactic with this was to double click, like click once with my mouse and click once with my spacebar. This UFO is pretty simple, you just have to practice it. Okay, now we get to this ship part, the infamous ship part at 40. So my tactic was to dip down in just the slightest bit when entering, and then right here, let your ship fall a little bit, and then start straight flying. Now for this part, there's a sort of a swag route here. You can literally just buffer there since there's an invisible block there. That's what I did. Because if you press the orb here, you can die a lot easier. So I just recommend buffering. This part will get decently consistent with a lot of practice. Took me a while to get consistent with this part, though. But it did get consistent. Now the memory part. I don't have any tips for this part, so you just have to practice it, really. Oh, I do have to tell you, though, that this part is kind of a choke point. So I recommend heavily practicing this. Now to this. You might think that you just have to straight fly here, but you have to like sort of dip down just in the slightest bit there, and then go up. That one might be a little obvious. I usually get the coin here, because if you go the normal route, it's a lot harder. So just go for the coin. It's much easier. Now for this part. It's pretty straightforward. But I do have to say, you have to expect to die here from zero at least once. I died to 81 from zero. Terrible death. I died here. Kind of like that. Oh, for this part, it's kind of wonky. What I did, I didn't hit these late, I actually just hit these normally. You have to hit that orb in the portal late if you want to go for the coin. Now, obviously, this is just about nerves. If you know how to straight fly, you can probably get this down. And that's it. That is tips and tricks for Cataclysm.